Hello, good evening, and welcome to NTA International News at this hour. My name is Kirian Umayo. Nigeria is winning war against terror, says President Buhari. Massive investment in agriculture sector, panacea for stemming incessant crisis in Nigeria. President Muhammadu Buhari has made a case for concerted efforts by the nation's armed forces, other security agencies, and well-meaning Nigerians towards putting an end to the various security threats facing the country so that Nigeria can be taken to its rightful destination of peace and prosperity. Speaking at the graduation ceremony of Senior Course 41 of the Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Jaji in Kaduna, the president said unscrupulous elements or persons and organizations fueling violence and criminality in pursuit of their selfish interests must be defeated. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has that report.
207 participants who distinguished themselves in both character and learning after the rigorous training exercise that lasted 48 weeks graduated at the ceremony. 13 of them from 11 other African countries and the Republic of Korea.
I, Air Vice Marshal Lawal Shitu Alao, the Commandant, Armed Forces Command and Staff College, do hereby confer on you, one and all, symbol PSC. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. President Muhammadu Buhari, who was a special guest of honor at a similar event in 2018, presented Order of Merit Awards to deserving graduates from the Land, Maritime, and Air Warfare departments. Major Ahmed Abdul Qadri, who emerged the overall best participant, carted home the Commandant's Tie of Merit as well as Tri-Service Terms Awards.
As you graduate today, you must be loyal to God and country while always seeking to develop the capacity of your subordinates. I have no doubt that you all will perform excellently and contribute your own quota to the safety and security of our great country.
President Buhari urged the graduates as future leaders of the armed forces to effectively utilize the knowledge acquired towards addressing contemporary security challenges confronting Nigeria.
As you all know, Nigeria has been facing numerous security threats that are both asymmetric and transborder in nature, involving mainly non-state actors domiciled in the country and outside our borders. We must defeat them. I want to assure you that Nigeria, in partnership with our allies, will not relent until terrorists are completely decimated.
The war on terror, President Buhari said, is being won on all sides and commended the armed forces for their prompt response to the national security threat, as well as militancy, banditry, kidnapping, armed militias, and separatists.
Let me now turn to our graduates in whose honor we are gathered here today. The nation expects the very best from you in terms of your commitment to your duties, loyalty, and service to your fatherland. So, you must all endeavor to make honest, positive contributions and join hands to take our country, Nigeria, to the rightful destination of peace and prosperity.
15,943 participants have so far graduated from the Armed Forces Command and Staff College Jaji since establishment in 1976. From Jaji, Kaduna State, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Nigeria's Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has inaugurated 650 housing units in Iselazaba in Delta State. Ifamo Kafo reports.
It was a heroic welcome for the Vice President, Professor Yomi Osibajo, at Iselazaba, an Ochanot local government area of Delta State, as he inaugurated some landmark projects, including the 650 housing units at Iselazaba.
It is a very special pleasure and privilege to formally commission this housing estate, 650 houses, for the benefit of the people of Delta State, to the glory of God.
The Vice President also inaugurated the 20.29-kilometer Obotobo 1 and 2 Sekobolu Yokri roads at Ogulaha in Brutu local government area and Phase 1 and 2 township roads at Okeronkoko in Warri Southwest. Ifoma Okafor, NTA News.
Justice Abazi Musa Abubakar Sadiq has been sworn in as the substantive president of the FCT Customary Court of Appeal. Olabude Arewa reports that the acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Tanko Mohammed, administered the oath of office on him.
Justice Abubakar Sadiq had been in acting capacity for the past 1 year. His confirmation and subsequent assumption of office was applauded by the acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Tanko Mohammed, who expressed confidence in Justice Sadiq's ability to discharge his duties successfully.
We have a responsibility to remind him that, excuse me, sir, this is what you swore on the day you were sworn in. If you cannot talk to him, write your own opinion in writing. Let him read and understand that people are watching him.
I need the support of my chief registrar particularly and my judges, because it's just like building a house which one person cannot do.
It's a new dawn for Customary Court of Appeal.
I believe we'll see changes in the court.
Born in 1957, Justice Abubakar Sadiq became a judge of the FCT Customary Court of Appeal in 1993 and the acting president of the court since 2018. In Abuja, Olabude Arewa, NTA News.
It was a double celebration for Adamawa farmers when they received the National Emergency Management Agency NEMA's support of agricultural inputs to cushion the effect of their loss from the 2018 floods and to boost their output for the 2019 cropping season. Ilyasu Ali Yakubu reports.
More than 20,000 farmers in Adamawa State were adversely affected by the 2018 floods, and farmlands in 16 out of the 21 local government areas of the state were also washed away by the disaster.
Because
Mrs.
I've never
Josie
received such a
Dogo
gesture.
and
This is my first time
Salihu
of receiving
Abubakar,
it.
who benefited from this support among other hundreds of people, said they are overwhelmed, promising to always put President Buhari in their daily prayers to succeed in all his good intention for Nigeria. Others acknowledge the commitment of the president for working hard to make Nigeria the economic hub of Africa through agriculture.
It's very amazing and it is good because I've never received such a gesture.
I'm still thanking the federal government for the support.
This is the first time I shed tears in Adamawa State when people are calling to thank. The way they thank, you know that they are heartfelt. They have been feeling excellently. They were so happy.
NEMA team leader in Adamawa State, Suleiman Yakubu, said 90% of the distribution has been completed.
What we are doing now is a mop-up exercise, which will start tomorrow, to go around the entire local government again to see that those that did not turn up earlier on, do the enumeration, will be captured, so that no farmer of the 21,000 is left out.
The agricultural inputs include fertilizers, variety of improved seeds, agrochemicals, among other inputs. From Yola in Adamawa State, Ilyasu Ali Yakubu, NTA News.
Massive investment in the agricultural sector has been identified as panacea for stemming the tide of incessant monumental crisis that plagues the country. An agriculturist, Professor Mohammed Kota Yahya, said this at the 459th inaugural lecture of the University of Ibadan. Shola Wahid reports.
459 Poverty, destitution, joblessness, corruption, among others, have been identified as factors responsible for the spate of insecurity in the country. Speaking on the topic, Voice of the Voiceless, Hungered, Professor Kutayaya explained that all hands must be on deck to ensure that the country enjoys relative peace to enhance all-round development in Nigeria. He urged government at all levels and the private sector to invest in education and empower farming communities to enhance good standard of living.
They have a chance now. I've given them the voice, and the government has listened, and I think they will do something about extension of communication in Nigerian agricultural system.
The inaugural lecture, which was one of a kind, featured goodwill messages.
The need for all of us to be brothers keepers and ensure that there is peace in the country so that we are all Nigerians, not from the north, not from the east, not from the south.
It is very rare to see a man in the whole Nupian land to have demonstrated this kind of expression.
All the contents of that lecture, if they are being considered and put into use, it will go a long way to solving our social, economic, and political issues we have in this country.
It has been able to bring to the fore the fact that you cannot compartmentalize knowledge.
They clamored for an efficient agricultural value chain development, with the media playing positive roles of enlightenment. In Ibadan, Shola Wahid, NTA News.
And up next is a review of stories that made headlines during the week.
Hello and a warm welcome to the Week in Review. President Muhammadu Buhari during the week commissioned a state-of-the-art medical facility in Abuja that will provide free services to the poor and marginalized.
I am very pleased to note their contribution to check and prevent avoidable blindness by restoring vision of more than 120,000 Nigerians, free of charge.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari says henceforth the production and personalization of all Nigerian e-passports and related documentation shall be the sole responsibility of the Nigerian Security Printing and Minting Company. The special advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, said with the new directive, all existing memoranda of understanding and contracts on printing by other institutions and companies will not be renewed. We told you that President Muhammad Buhari urged the President-elect of the 74th Sessions of United Nations General Assembly, Professor Tijani Muhammad Bande, to justify the confidence reposed in him by Nigerians and indeed the global community. This was while receiving the diplomat, who is also Nigeria's permanent representative to the United Nations. From the National Assembly, the Senate received executive communication from President Buhari requesting the confirmation of Justice Ibrahim Tanko as Chief Justice of Nigeria and 15 special advisors to the President. The legislators at Thursday's plenary also commended President Muhammadu Buhari for signing the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement.
We are the only African country that if we get our act together, the signing of this agreement will be one of the best benefits that we can have.
And the House of Representatives at Thursday's plenary passed for second reading a bill for an act to establish the National Commission Against the Proliferation of Small Arms and Light Weapons to coordinate and implement activities towards combating the acts in line with ECOWAS Convention on the matter. Deliberating on the bill sponsored by Mohammed Monguno from Borno State, members believe security agencies, especially the police, are overwhelmed by prevailing security issues across the country. Therefore, it becomes imperative for the establishment of the commission. Other members who supported the bill are of the view that the commission, when established, will be a one-stop shop for mopping up illegally possessed small arms and light weapons by non-state actors.
Avalanche of armed banditry, herdsmen farmers clashes, Boko Haram insurgency, and even the problem of the Shiite sect that is beginning to rear its ugly head in our body politic can all be traced to the fact that non-state actors are in possession of these small arms and light weapons.
Medical personnel in Kano commenced investigation on the outbreak of a disease suspected to be measles in Dawankin Kudu local government, which claimed the lives of 7 children. Kano state government mobilized health personnel to the area. We informed you that the 19th Group Managing Director of the NNPC colloquially assumed office with the resolve to make the corporation a global oil company in line with best practices. The new Group Managing Director also vowed to continue the fight against corruption initiated by his predecessor. That's the package. I'm Obiageli Ugweke. Many thanks for your time.
Thank you, Obiageli. This is the news on NTA International reaching you from Abuja. Stay tuned for more news after this break.
Hear the call of change. Stand up, Nigeria. Change is here and it's going to stay. Change begins with you. Oh yeah, make we go. Go to so let the change begin from within. Look at you, Ogeruola. Change begins with you and me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me.
President Muhammadu Buhari joins the media industry, particularly the This Day newspaper, Arise magazine, and Arise TV family, in celebrating the chairman of Leaders and Company Limited, Nduka Obiebena, on his 60th birthday. In a statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, President Buhari congratulates the media entrepreneur for his visionary and adventurous leadership style of establishing trademark communication outfits that have remained outstanding in informing Nigerians about the world around them and educating the world about Nigeria. The president salutes Obiagbena's courage in assembling a team of brilliant journalists and administrators who started This Day newspaper and the groundbreaking strides they have made. President Buhari felicitates with Obiagbena, who doubles as the president of the Newspapers Proprietors Association of Nigeria, his family, friends, and professional colleagues, wishing him longer life, good health, and prosperity. Now, following the ugly incident that claimed the life of Funke Olakunre, daughter of Afenifere leader Reuben Fasorante, sympathizers have continued to troop to the family house in Akure. Olajide Bello reports that the governors of Ondo and Oyo states, as well as leaders of the Yoruba socio-cultural group Afenifere, were among early callers.
We had just passed Ore on our way to Lagos when 6 armed men came out from the bush and started shooting at our vehicle. In the process, my madam was hit by the bullets while I escaped into the bush.
Pockets of sympathizers, including Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, the DG of Akure, Aladelusi Aladetoyinbo, and the Chief Judge of the state, Olanrewaju Akeredolu, were at the Fasorante family house to condole with the 94-year-old father of the deceased and his wife.
Some measures must have to be taken. We must prevent this. We must take whatever step we want to take not to allow this to happen again.
Is that this is the time to pull together in unity to fight for our people. It is not the time to even look at ourselves as belonging to a different ideological setup or different political party. We want to, everybody
has spared his time and attention here. This is a very sad moment. Very, very sad moment for everyone. At Papa's age, you can imagine what I've been going through.
Other sympathizers called on relevant authorities to bring the perpetrators of the act to justice. A statement by Ondo State Police Command indicates that preliminary investigations reveal the incident was not a targeted attack on anyone, as the perpetrators are bandits and criminals who were out to rob, kidnap or abduct for ransom, and promised that the perpetrators will be fished out and brought to justice.
He entered the bush following them combing. So far, that has not yielded any result, but we have reinforced security in that area.
The late Funke Olakunrin was attacked on Friday, 12th of July, while traveling from the Akure-Ore axis en route to Lagos. She was aged 58. In Akure, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has been in phone contact with Afenifere leader Ruben Fasharanti, whose daughter, Mrs. Funke Olakunrin, was killed by an armed gang on Kajola-Ore Road, Ondo State on Friday. A statement by Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, says the President condoled with the grieved non-Nigerian, wishing him the comfort of God and fortitude to bear the irreparable loss. He also assured that security agencies would spare no effort to apprehend the culprits and bring them to justice. Fazaranti thanked the President for identifying with him and his family at their time of travail, praying that God will restore peace and amity to the country. In the same vein, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo commiserated with Pa Ruben on the death of his daughter, Mrs. Funke Olakunrin, yesterday. In a phone call he made earlier today to the former Ondo Governor, Professor Osinbajo prayed the Lord will comfort the Yoruba leader and the entire family on the loss. In the meantime, the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, has assured the nation that the killers of Mrs. Funke Olakunrin, daughter of the leader of a Pan-Yoruba Socio-Cultural Organization, Afenifere Chief Ruben Fasharanti, will certainly be found and made to face the full weight of the law. The IGP notes that the Ondo State Police Command, backed by special forces and seasoned investigators from the 1st Criminal Investigation Department, FCID, the Intelligence Response Team, IRT, and the Technical Intelligence Unit, TIU, deployed from the force headquarters, Abuja, on his directives, have already commenced a massive manhunt for the killers with a view to tracking, arresting, and bringing them to justice. While condemning the barbaric crime, the IGP, as part of measures to prevent a future occurrence of such incidents, has ordered the total overhaul of security architecture on the highways in the southern part of the country. In this vein, the commissioners of police in the affected states have been ordered by the IGP to ensure adequate security arrangement in their areas of jurisdiction. The Nigerians in Diaspora Commission has commiserated with the family of Nigerian student who died at the University of Creative Technology in Malaysia. The deceased, Mr. Thomas Elwashia, was a PhD student of management at the university with valid student pass, but was still detained for 14 days by the Malaysian authorities until he suffered a seizure while in custody. A statement by the Director General of the Commission, Abike Erewa, expressed sadness over untimely death of the student and prayed God to grant the deceased young widow, his entire family, and those who have suffered the same fate the fortitude to bear the loss. She further urged the Nigerian High Commission in Kuala Lumpur to open an investigation into the death of Owashiha and ensure that the welfare of Nigerian students in Malaysia are not compromised. Now, on the foreign scene, let's join Fatima Ali for trending news from other parts of the globe.
At least 26 people, including a prominent journalist and several foreigners, have been killed in an attack on a hotel in southern Somalia. Reports indicate that a suicide bomber rammed a car containing explosives into the Asazi Hotel in the port of Kismayo, and gunmen then stormed the building. Journalist Ondalanaye and her husband are thought to be among the dead. Islamist group Al-Shabaab has claimed the attack, which reportedly killed a local politician, 3 Kenyans, 3 Tanzanians, 2 Americans, and 1 Briton. And in contrast to development in Somalia, New Zealanders have started handing over their semi-automatic weapons as part of a buyback scheme following a ban after the Christchurch attacks. Gun reforms were enacted after a gunman shot dead 51 people at 2 mosques in March. Saturday's handover in Christchurch was the first of more than 250 collections to be held across the country. More than $230,000 was paid in compensation to 169 firearms owners who handed in 224 weapons. The weapons were then destroyed. In another development, one of the most significant Russian space science mission in the post-Soviet era has launched. The telescope is a joint venture with Germany that will map X-rays across the entire sky in unprecedented detail. Researchers say this information will help them trace the large-scale structure of the universe. The device is expected to detect perhaps 3 million supermassive black holes during its service life. Fatima Aliu, NTA News.
Thank you, Fatima. Next is Sunday's weather prospects for Nigeria and other parts of the world. And that's the news at 7 on NTA International. There'll be more news on the network service of the NTA at 9. My name is Kurian Umayo. Thank you for watching.